Welcome to Bones Bookshop. My name is Bones, and the story we're reading today is called Going Up. I have always found urban explorers so fascinating. Through watching hundreds of videos online, I've realized why people love doing it so much. The thrill of discovering rooms and items that have become static, frozen in time. Getting to walk down the same hallways as people before, in a space that now feels forgotten. The feeling of investigation as you try to discover what may have happened. The beauty of the decay. So eventually I worked up the nerve and decided to try it myself. Through searching online, I found a perfect spot, an abandoned office building in my city. It's apparently sat empty for almost 20 years now due to the company that owned it going bankrupt. I know some things, like bring a flashlight, gloves, and water. I search what else I may need, and once I'm all packed up, I head out first thing in the morning. When I realize I'm nearly at my destination, I decide to just park in a nearby plaza. I get out and remove my bag from the passenger seat, pulling it over my arms. I start the walk to the building, hoping I don't look suspicious at all. I've heard that if you don't have a permit, any kind of security will usually just ask you to leave. It's a very small risk, but I would like to get to explore a bit before getting caught, if at all. I finally arrive at the building. It doesn't even look abandoned from the outside. I go around the back, keeping an eye out for any openings, like windows I can get into. The first thing I come across is a back door. I reach for the handle, knowing it's probably locked, but to my surprise it opens. I find myself in the back corner of the workspace. As expected, the lights don't work. Although the sun is up, there isn't enough windows to light up the room, so I take out my flashlight. Looking around, there are rows of cubicles. The computers are definitely from their time, the big boxy ones. There's paper scattered on the desks and floor. I approach one of the desks and notice a coffee cup, the bottom stained brown. I keep walking down the rows, imagining the long, grueling hours confined to these desks. I look over some of the papers. Most of them seem to be empty forms or invoices. I realize how the room smells, kind of like those older thrift stores or antique shops. I get to a wooden door and open it to move to the next room. This must be the reception area. It's much brighter in here thanks to the front entrance being glass. I walk up to the oversized desk in the center. Next to the desk sits a large pot with a very dead plant. There is a single computer in the center, accompanied by a hardwired multi-line phone. I read some of the sticky notes that are scattered across the desk. Meeting at 2 p.m. Call Mr. Andrews by Monday. And do more paperwork forever. I enjoy the last one, as I always thought of the generation above me to be too serious. I look up and scan the room again. The building is only a 2-story and on the smaller side, so I'm just looking for another office room door when I spot an elevator. I'm taken aback when I see the tiny screen above it has the number 1 illuminated. I walk up to it and push the up arrow. The button lights up, and after a few seconds the doors slide open. The inside of the elevator is lit, which I find incredibly strange. I cautiously step in and look at the buttons. I think it over for a minute before pushing the up arrow again. I step back and the doors close. There's no music or anything, but when it stops moving I hear the ding as the doors open. The first thing I notice is that all the lights were on. As I step out, I see a glass-walled meeting room straight ahead, in pristine condition. I walk forwards and take a better look through the glass. There is a giant table in the center, surrounded by office chairs. A large whiteboard sits against one of the walls. It looks like this room is ready for a meeting. Eerily clean, too. I turn to one of the doors and go through it. Similar to downstairs, there's rows of cubicles, but everything is tidy. Any papers are neatly stacked, and all of the chairs are pushed in. I walk down the row and each desk is set up exactly the same. I head back out of this room and head towards the door on the opposite side of the meeting room. I open this one to see an average-sized room with a desk to the side. There's an office chair behind it and 2 regular chairs sat in front. This seems very much like a CEO's office. I look around the room. There's a glass shelf with some items on it, a #1 boss mug, a generic-looking trophy with no words, and what I believe is a family photo. It featured a smiling woman and a little boy. There were only the 3 rooms on this floor, so I decide to head back down in case I missed anything on the first floor. I get back on the elevator and go to push the down arrow when I see the up arrow is blinking. I push it out of curiosity and the doors close. I feel the elevator start moving and a sense of uneasiness hits me. I swear this building was only a 2-story when I looked into it. The ding sounds and the doors open. This is very much not the roof. Instead, I am staring down a hallway. I pull out the flashlight as it's a little dim. This hallway seems very long. There's no doors on either side, but I think that's a door at the very end. I step out of the elevator, doors closing behind me. I start walking down the very plain-looking hall. It has that white linoleum floors, and the walls are painted gray. It feels like I've been walking for quite a while when I finally reach the other side. Opening the wooden door, I am met with a room the size of a janitor's closet. On the wall in front of me is another elevator door. The only thing in this room was a small table with a coffee maker, as well as some coffee-related items. It seems a bit strange that there's not a sink or water machine in here to even fill the pot to make coffee. I push the button for the elevator and get back inside, thinking I must have missed seeing the second one on the second floor. I push the down arrow, feeling ready to end my journey. Maybe I should have chosen somewhere a little more exciting than an office for my first adventure. I realized the button didn't work, so I hit it again. Nothing. I keep pressing the button and end up hitting the up button in my spamming spree. It starts to go up. The doors open and I'm not sure what I'm seeing. It looks like the first floor office room, same rows of cubicles, but different. It looks as if everything has been hand-drawn. I step out and shine my light at one of the desks. I run my hand across it. It's definitely a real desk. So is the computer. And the chair. It just looks so surreal, and it feels wrong in a way. Why would there even be a room like this? It looks like a set. I keep walking the room a bit baffled. This would be floor 4, I believe, if that hallway counts as one. There's no way the building is even tall enough for this to be possible. I've seen many exploring videos, and yeah, sometimes there's secret rooms, but this feels much different. I wish I would have brought a good camera with me to record this. I didn't think about it since I'm not a content creator or anything. I am a bit skeptical about how this is all possible, but I head back to the elevator. Yet again, the up button is blinking when I step inside. I try to decide if I even want to push it. Eventually, my curiosity wins, and I decide to see what's up. The doors open. The first thing that hits me is this overwhelmingly sweet smell. Then my eyes adjust to a view even stranger than the last. It's another hallway, larger, but the floor seems to be grass. The hallway is lined by bushes. I walk up to the first one, shining the light through it. Roses. The walls are lined by red rose bushes. I lean down to look at the floor, running my hand through it. It really is grass. It even seems to be freshly cut. I get back up and start walking. I realize I can hear flowing water. I keep walking towards the sound until I find a passageway that was overshadowed by one of the bushes. I walk in, and it's a smaller room. Still a grass floor, but with a water fountain in the center. There's nothing else here, so I turn back. Before stepping back on the elevator, I grab one of the roses and snap the branch it's on. I just felt like I needed some kind of proof this is real. I get back on the elevator. Yet again, the top arrow blinking. And yet again, I foolishly press the button. As it starts to move, I look over the rose in my hand. I touch the petals. There's no way this could be fake. I then run my finger carefully along one of the thorns, and it is sharp. The elevator brings my focus back as the doors open. I should have expected it to get weirder. This time, instead of walls, it's giant windows. It's like I'm standing inside of a greenhouse or conservatory. The only difference is that everything is pink. The sky and clouds visible out the window are pink. The floor is also a soft pink color. There's even a few benches in the color pink. I move closer to the glass, expecting to see buildings below, thinking maybe the sun is setting. No, it's just pink sky. It continues as far as I can see, and nothing else is visible. I end up sitting down on one of the benches. This has to be a prank or experiment. Someone must have purposely posted about this place being abandoned, hoping someone would just walk in. Maybe they rigged the elevator to seem like it was going up, but it was actually going a different direction? That would make the most sense. I actually don't mind this room. Something about it is very calming. I wonder if maybe it's a projector wall on the outside of the glass making the clouds move. I have to admit, this place is pretty cool. At least it's way better than just walking around that boring office. I decide to check out one more floor, and then I'm leaving. I get back up, taking another glance out the windows. I step back on the elevator and press the up button. This time I'm feeling curious. Will it be another elaborate set? The doors slide open, and I'm almost disappointed to see another hallway. This one does have something on the walls, and the lighting here is a blue tone. I point my light at the wall closest to me. It's photos covering the wall. The first one I look at is a woman, smiling while standing behind what I believe is the front desk on the first floor. I move to the next photo. It's a man standing behind the same front desk. The one next to that is a person standing in front of the desk. Instead of a close-up photo, this one looks like it was taken from a corner of the room. I keep walking down the hall. Front desk, front desk, front desk. It's all of different people in all kinds of different clothes. As I keep moving, I notice the front desk area seems to be falling into its current state in the photos. I'm halfway down the hall when the subjects of the photos start to have a very common theme: backpacks and flashlights. The kinds of clothing being worn in the photos become more recent. I'm nearly at the end of the hall when I recognize one of the people. A girl I used to watch who did this as well. I never saw this place in a video of hers, but I also stopped watching her channel at some point. I get to the end, and the back wall has a singular photo. Same front office as all the others. It's someone leaning over the front desk, but their face is blocked by the computer. I suddenly realize something. That's my bag. And the outfit I'm wearing. I grab the photo off the wall, looking closer. That is definitely me. I whip around to go back down the hall. The blue light suddenly changed to red. I start running, the hall feeling longer than before as I sprint to the elevator. I run inside and quickly press the button to close the doors. I need a second. I'm now looking at this photo along with the rose in my hand. I must have accidentally gripped the flower too hard in my panic as I realize my hand is bleeding. I feel like my heart is going to jump out of my chest. It must be a prank. It's definitely a prank. That would explain why the lights changed, and the photo. Someone must have a secret camera set up, and this is how they scare people. I take a deep breath. I'm definitely going home now. I go to press the down button, and it's just gone. Crap. No. This can't be happening. I start checking the walls of the elevator, moving frantically. I'm checking the side wall when the elevator starts moving on its own. I swear I didn't push anything. I start to get this horrible feeling. A voice plays from somewhere. going up. I can't do this. This isn't funny. If this is some sick joke, I swear I'm going to sue anyone who could possibly be involved. It stops. The doors open. I can't see a thing outside the elevator. It's just pitch black. I try shining my flashlight, and it does pretty much nothing against the darkness. I suddenly see a light flicker on in the distance, like as if from a streetlight. It stays on for a moment before flickering off, and another light appears in a different spot. I watch this happen a few times, still far away, before this next light flicks on, and I think there's something standing under it. That light flicks off, another closer light turning on in its place. Okay, no, there is definitely something standing under the light. I watch the light move again. It's getting closer. At this point, I feel as if I'm going to throw up or start crying. It moves again, and I start slamming the button to close the doors. It's not working. I glance up and it's even closer. I start banging on the walls of the elevator. I suddenly feel a rough impact and find myself on the ground. I look up at the elevator and I see what looks like myself. She's standing there smiling as the doors close. I turn to look behind me and it's pitch black. Where is it? Where did it go? The light flickers on. I watch as it illuminates my hand. I look up, right into its eyes.